Hey everyone, we're back with another episode of How to Get My Job. We sit down with amazing people within the design and product industry and ask them how their careers started, evolved, and what advice they have for those coming after them. Joining us today is Chiedza Muguti, an experienced product leader in financial services who's worked with the likes of Travelex, Penta, and is a mentor and coach at Product Academy. Hey Chiedza, how are you doing?
Oh, hello from Berlin. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good and super excited to have you with us today. I'm just going to jump into it with the first question because I'm very excited to hear all about your amazing experiences. So, how did you get your first job in product?
I actually started out as a business analyst. I was very fortunate when I was doing my degree at the University of Brighton. Shout out to the best university ever. So I did a sandwich degree. And in my third year, I went to work full time, which, for 12 months, which was really, really great. So this really took our course content and made it come to life. So we realized a lot of what we were learning we could apply in the real world, which was great. And when I finished university, I had a job offer to go back to the same company where I did my placement year, which was great. So I already had a little network and a really, really great support system. And I started there as a business analyst. And then after a few years, I then moved into product. So the business analyst role is obviously much more technical, very low level detail. And then, products sort of you move a little bit further up in the process. So that's actually how it happened.
Amazing. So that leads on quite nicely into the next question, which is now that you've, worked for a long time in the product industry and you're a very experienced product person, what are the most important qualities a product leader could have?
The first one is empathy. You have to have empathy because you are dealing with so many different stakeholders, and you're also dealing with teams that are usually under a lot of stress. They've got a lot of things that they need to do, because obviously a lot of times the success of a company really rides on the product. So the product being successful is pivotal to a company actually reaching the goals that it's set for itself. So you have to be very empathetic. So understanding where everybody's coming from, and not just reacting to situations, but also anticipating situations. So having enough empathy to think beyond today. So being really present with people today, but also thinking about what's going to come tomorrow. How can I prepare people? And also thinking about different stakeholders who maybe want the product to work in a certain way, or they want certain things. And you really need to come from a place of understanding. So people need to make sure you need to make sure you're approachable, so people can come to you at any time, ask you questions, and also to have a lot of grace to deal with, criticism, those difficult conversations, because there are a lot of decisions that you might need to make that are not very popular. So I think also that is important. The second one I would say is humility. You have to be very humble. I always say that product will humble you on a daily basis. Just when you think something is great, something will happen, then you're like, okay, I remember I still have a lot to learn. So you need to have humility. I think this is also important because you also have to show teams maybe and people that, you know what, I made this call and it wasn't the right call. Could I have done something differently? Yes, because people want to know you're human and they can relate to you. Then the third one I would say is really being able to zoom in and out. So, whilst you have to be really owning the strategy and the vision, you also sometimes need to zoom in into the finer details to really make sure that the way things are being built is the way that it should be built to actually be successful. But also you need to know when to zoom out. So that you're not sort of micromanaging people and you're not taking up too much space that people cannot actually operate independently. So you have to have a real knack to know when to zoom in and when to zoom out. I think it goes without saying you need to be an excellent communicator. So really knowing your audience, understanding how you can sort of take them on a journey, help them to understand things and also support them. And being a good communicator internally and also externally, and obviously being a great collaborator, right? So as a product leader, you're going to work with everybody and everybody. and everybody. So you need to be really good at collaborating. Sometimes even people who maybe stress you out, maybe rub you the wrong way, you need to always try to get the best out of whatever time you spend with them. And because I really believe everyone is mostly coming from a good place, and it's just that people have their own objectives, and we're human beings. We all have things that we want to achieve. So just also reminding people what's the common goal is really important. And also commercial acumen. So, what are the numbers? How are we doing with the numbers, where we're trying to get to, and what are the things that maybe we need to adjust to actually make sure that we get there. So I know I've said a lot. I'm sure I could go on and on, but those are the main ones. But yeah, empathy is head and shoulders above everything else.
I mean, empathy has come up quite a few times. And yeah, I would say it's also an amazing quality to have. I think emotional intelligence is incredible for any business and any leader to have. So yeah, those are amazing qualities. That leads quite nicely into our next question, which is, what's the best career advice you've ever been given?
Oh, that's a really good one. I've had so much great advice. I've just been one of those people who's been really, really blessed to work with many people who just really wanted me to reach my fullest potential. And the best advice I ever got was a manager of mine said to me that I was really struggling with a leadership role. And he just said to me, Chiedza, you're a natural leader, but you will only do your best when you're yourself. So, really just being myself and being authentic. So not trying to, be a leader like what's written in a book. So, being a leader just in my own way. So, that's what he said to me. And that has stayed with me all of these years. Because, a lot of times, when people ask me, like, oh, how'd you get into leadership? I always say it's not something that I thought of just like, I'm definitely a leader. Someone else saw that in me and actually told me, you know what, you're actually a very natural leader. Because I always thought, a leader was very different from me. I'm maybe more on the nurturing side and sort of more bubbly, more fun, more on the gentle side. And maybe it's because of a lot of examples of leadership that we see being quite opposite to that, all around us. So maybe it's in politics or in business. So I never thought of myself as a leader. So when he said that to me, that really, really stayed with me. So to be myself, to be my colorful self and just present as me without without hiding anything. So he said to me, that's when you're always your best. And that's the best career advice I ever got.
I wish someone gave me that career advice. That would probably save me a lot of embarrassment. And also, I guess, work with someone, have someone believe in you and see that potential in you. Like that is amazing.
It was very impactful. I even remember where we were sitting. I even remember what I was wearing on that day when he said that. So yeah, it really has stayed with me. And it's very true, because when you are authentic, then you can actually use all of your energy to do great things and do a great job. So you're not second guessing yourself all the time. Of course, there are times when I have to tone certain things down because of my environment. But I think, most of the time, what you see is what you get. So Chiedza at work, Chiedza at home is pretty much the same person.
That is the dream, I'd say, because self-doubt and always kind of like second guessing yourself is so crippling.
It is very tiring. And then we miss out on just, the amazing person that you are if you're second guessing yourself. So I think it's really important to try to figure out what sort of environment is an environment where you can be yourself. This is something it's not just important just for you, but it's also important for society, because the more we can express ourselves, the more we can be ourselves, and then we can really put our energy into building great stuff.
And what a great note to build on and to kind of leave us on as well. When you can be yourself and when you can put your authentic self into your work, you can build great products and you can produce great work. And I couldn't yeah, I couldn't relate to that more myself. But yeah, Chiedza, thank you so much for being a guest on our show.
Thank you for inviting me. I think I messaged you before that I've watched a few of these and I really enjoyed them and I really liked them. So I think it's great work that you do with your team to get these out so that all of these roles are much more accessible and relatable for people who are following on LinkedIn and bump into these videos. So thank you also very much.
No, it's my pleasure. It's literally the thing I love most about my job. So this is just like
the highlight.
Yeah, the highlight of my weeks. But yeah, until next time.
Thank you.
Bye.